Please confirm me on chat if you guys can see my screen and if you can hear me clearly. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, guys. So yesterday, till last week, we have understood about list report. We built list report. There were a couple of assignments that we have given to you. So these were the things that were part of assignment. Okay, so I believe most of you have done this, and I have received feedback from Shekhar as well. So one thing that I want to say is we will not be accepting the solutions that would have UI5 code into picture. Reason being is there are many reasons for that. The first thing is we have clearly stated during the training that no prerequisite is required. So understanding a guy who is having knowledge on ABAP or ABAP on HANA with some CDS flavor, if they shift their career to Fiori elements and CDS without UI5 and without custom UI5 and all those stuff, so for them it is never a win-win situation, right? Yes, a person who is prerequisitely having a knowledge of UI5, for them it is okay, but generally as a whole we will not accept solutions. In practical world, yes, there are certain cases where we use Fiori elements with UI5 code combination as well for certain requirements. But here, as part of assignment, we will not be practicing. We will not be following that concept. Moreover, these three assignments can be achieved without having UI5 code into picture. That's my understanding, and that is what we have received from a couple of participants as well. So that's the main thing, and that is what I wanted to convey to all of you. Okay, anyways, we will quickly move to the next thing now. So the first thing that I want to say is last Friday we started with analytical list page. We will quickly have a revision for next 2 minutes. If you talk about analytical list page, what is analytical list page or ELP? So analytical list page is a kind of Fiori element that offers you graphical representation of your data. It has a fixed layout, the way the look and feel it would be looking like. Yes, the applications are responsive in all the devices. Performance-wise, it's quite faster. No separate development to make it responsive. All these features and benefits SAP has already given. Yes. So regarding the layout, we have a fixed layout. At the top, we will have visual filters. In the middle, we will have a default chart, which would be only one at one time. And at the bottom, we would be having the data in a table. Okay. So these are a couple of things that I wanted to discuss. This was a fixed layout what SAP offers, and this is what we will be following. Okay, and this is what all about analytical list pages. There would be twists and turns in the requirements, which I'll be discussing in coming time. There are some limitations that we have observed, so we will share those limitations with you. If someone is finding something out of the box, they can share their knowledge, and they are welcome to share that. Okay, so that is one important thing. Apart from that, we will quickly discuss the layout that we have designed last week. So this is the layout that we have designed last week. We have table, in the middle we have chart, and here we have visual filters. As a combination, as a best practice, we should not have more than 4 visual filters here. We should have maximum 4. Technically, you can have as much as you want. You will have a scroll here, okay? But let's keep it 4 because that's what the ideal solution suggests us. Here we have a default chart. Okay, so guys, if you talk about chart, there are a couple of charts. There are different kind of charts, like you have line chart, column chart, bar chart, pie chart, donut chart. There are different kinds of charts. So you have to use your visualization and understand which chart suits the most, whether this is suitable for this requirement, pie is suitable for this, line is suitable, bar is suitable, whatever is suitable, you have to put your visualization. Okay, in case if you're not that good in visualization, you can better once develop in one single chart, and then you can change the type of chart. Changing the type of chart is very easier. It won't even take a minute for you. So you can check with your functional business users, and based on that you can analyze it. Okay. So again, repeating, chart is something that is all about your visualization, all about visualizing your data, how you visualize your data, how you understand the data should be, the look and feel. Each and every small thing takes place into it. So visualization plays a very important role. Before implementing a chart, you should have a visualization. What properties are you going to use? Okay. So like this would be your dimension, this would be a measure. I will anyways have a detailed talk on dimension and measures as well. So all these things play a very important role. You have to decide which kind of chart you have or which kind of chart you want. Okay, adding few more things in the knowledge bucket. The default chart that you have, the structure that is being rendered, in that all the different kind of charts can be changed at runtime. What exactly I mean to say is, charts and graphs. Okay, so if you talk about charts and graphs, so like basically the chart that we would be having here, in case of default chart, the chart can be changed at runtime. This is one of the thumb rule. Okay, in case of visual charts or visual filters rather, the chart cannot be changed at runtime. This has to be changed via code only. That's what my understanding is. Okay, so these are few important things that you need to understand, and once we develop, then you will understand things automatically. So that's totally fine. Now if you talk about charts, so charts all comes upon dimensions and measures. So firstly we'll discuss about dimensions and then we'll discuss about measures. All the property holding something kind of, okay. So basically dimensions are something that completely hold the property of something. They do not have anything measurable, nothing into numbers, everything into characteristics. Dimensions is all about property holding, what all property you have for a specific element. Okay, say for example, if you talk about an area, in area there are 10 buildings, so building A, B, C, D up to F or whatever it is. So A, B, C, D are basically your dimensions, and the value of that building, like 100 crores, 200 crores, this is your measure. Okay, dimension is all about property holding, all the character kind of something, all the character kind of thing. Okay, all the character kind of thing. I cannot write value here because it will change the meaning. Measure, it's something that can be counted and valued. As simple as that. Measure is something, it's just something that can be counted, it can be valued. Yes, this holds 100 crores, this holds 50 crores, something like that. Okay, adding the dimension. In dimension there is one important thing that I want to tell. I know most of you know that dimension always holds your x-axis, and measure always holds your y-axis. Let me quickly align in 2 seconds. Fine. Okay guys, so these are few things about dimensions and measures. So before we implement a chart, we need to understand what would be the dimension and what would be the measure for the same, for comparison. Okay, and charts and graphs are always used as comparative analytics. Comparative analytics, if you want to compare A with B, B with C, C with D, C with A with D, all these comparative analytics are measured in your charts and graphs. Okay, so that's one of the important things that I wanted to tell you. This is all about the always used for comparison. Okay. And what is visualization? It is a graphical representation of data. Repeating it, guys, one important thing and one important aspect that we discussed why we should go for analytical list pages. Wherever, and adding to this, analytical list page is always used by CEO, CFO level kind of people in an organization. ALP is basically helps you to represent the current scenario of your business in fraction of seconds. Profitability for quarter, profitability for second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, profitability in which region, loss in which region, profitability by which product, loss by which product is not sold for last 2 months, which product is constantly getting sold in which area. All these user sentiments, emotional sentiments are being captured in charts and graphs that play a very important role. Guys, having this little functional and theoretical knowledge is equally important than your code. That will help you to design things in a better way, because if you ask me, user will not tell you what kind of chart they need. They will just tell you, I want to see the profitability of this month, I want to see the loss of this month, by this sales organization, by this division, distribution, or whatever it is. Okay, each and everything you have to visualize and you need to understand. And if you're selling this in a market, you should market all these things, whatever I've told you, in a layman language. Fine, guys, we'll quickly move ahead to the development. So this is the CDS that we have created last week. Okay, and we have created a couple of fields. We have item, plant, and all these things. Okay, so these are anyways part of our table. Now we need to create a default. Now we need to create a default chart. So where we are planning to create this. As we told, from the development point of view, we will have bottom top approach. First, then second, and then third. Okay, so that things work extremely smooth, because visual filter is applied on below two things. So let's construct below two things and then have visual filters and then do the filtering whatever required for the same. Okay guys, so this is the place where I would be having my default chart, and I would be creating default chart here based on my sales organization. Let me quickly append it. Default chart, middle, based on sales organization. Now in sales organization, we will be comparing it by the order quantity total value, so that we can have something measurable. In this, dimension will be obviously sales ORG, sales organization. Measure for comparison will be order quantity total value. These will be the fields that we would be using. Now sales organization, suppose we have A, B, C. We have three, A, B, and C. For A, this is the data in a table. Like this is a data in a table. We would have so many, like this is repeated. We have so many, this. So obviously we need a total of that as well, right? So we will be having a summation of, having a summation of order quantity total value. So all the sales organization with A should be total, B should be total, C should be total. So that I can have a combined better analytics, and also that would help me to give a proper result. Okay, so we would be creating a default chart here. This is our next step. So I'll quickly start building the code now. I believe nobody is practicing anything. Fine. So guys, default chart, or whatever chart annotations you write, that would be above your define statement and below your this. So this is the place where you create all your charts and graphs. I'll be start creating the charts now. Let's go very slowly. Extremely sorry. Okay, so we have annotation for charts. Default chart for sales organization. Okay, so now I'll be start building the code for the same. @UI dot chart @UI dot chart, and in this UI chart we will be giving all the properties and corresponding values for the same. So firstly, the first thing that you have to give is qualifier. What is that qualifier and what is the benefit of qualifier? I'll help you to understand that. Qualifier, I'll give any name of my choice like chart default or default chart. This is the first property that I'm going to add in my UI chart. The next thing what we are going to have is, first is your qualifier, then we will be giving the type of chart. Okay, so chart type, this is my chart type annotation, and I would be giving anything of my choice. So default I'll launch with column. So control space will help you to give the suggestion starting by hash. Control space will give you all the things. If you want column, then select column and press enter. This is the way how you can expand your code. Okay, then we will have some description required for the same, for this chart. What description I should give? This is based on my sales organization. Okay, and then you have your dimensions and measures. Dimensions is always on x-axis, measures is always on y-axis. Measure is something that is countable. Then you have your dimension. This is your dimension. So I'll be giving dimension as my sales organization. You can find this field in the table, in this table in SE11 also if you want. So sales organization is my field. And then you will have measures. Firstly, we will have dimension and measures, and then we will capture as dimension attributes and measure attributes. You can also have more than one dimension in one thing and more than one measure. Okay, so dimension and measure attributes are also something that are required, that I'll tell you. In measures, you will be giving us order quantity total value. I have just given a different name just as an alias. So we will be using the one which is newly as alias, not the old one. This is going to work, not this one. Okay, so this is one thing. And then you have your dimension attribute. In the dimension attribute, again, you have to give your dimension. So dimension first. What is my dimension? It is my sales organization. And we will be giving some role to this. So role. What is the role? There are two kind of roles, category and series. So we will be going with category. What is the difference? We'll discuss it. So dimension attribute giving here is equally important. And then last but not the least, we will give the measure attribute as well. Guys, once I'm done with this code, I'll show you the output, and slowly and gradually I'll show you what all things, each and everything is concerned, what all features and functionalities we have. Apart from that, once we are done with this, I'll prepare 4 to 5 questions that you guys have to identify the answers. You can discuss with each other based on your understanding and come back to me tomorrow with a solution. One more thing, the assignment that I have given you during the weekend, people have worked really hard. They are able to achieve it, and I'm really happy to see the progress on that. So this is the benefit. Once you try something of your own, the level of knowledge that you get is at a different level after getting this knowledge. Fine. So then you have your measure. In the measure, I'll be giving same as my order quantity total value. And we want to give role here as well. We have role above, we have role below. Hash control space, access 1. So this is all about the properties that we have to give from the chart point of view. Okay, so we will quickly have a revision. First of all, the charts that you would be creating, that would be above your defined statements and below your this, what all namespace and everything you give here. Below this namespace annotations. This is my default chart, but how it is going to identify, there are a couple of checks and parameters that we are going to do. So let's not worry on that. Qualifier is just a unique name of identification. This qualifier will be used in different places so that we can identify that. Do not worry, the same qualifier name I'll be using at a different place. That would make your things easy. Chart type is basically the type of chart that we want. So I'm selecting column as my default. I have a column as my default chart, but I have told you default chart type can be changed at runtime. Okay, the type of chart can be changed at runtime. So basically how it works is, If you want to change from column to line to bar, line to anything, that you can directly change at one time, but one default chart type is mandatory to give, so that at the time of launching and initialization you should have a default chart. This is the default one. If you want to change, you can change anything at runtime. Okay. Then simple description. This is my sales organization, so I've given the description for the same. Dimension is something that is that holds a property like A, B, C. It is always on x-axis. It holds characteristics. That's what I've told you. Characters basically. Measures is something that is counted in value and that always lands in numbers. So we are using order quantity total value. That would help us see what is the order quantity total value of different sales organization like A, B, C, D, whatever it is. And then dimension and measure attributes we have given. In dimension and measure attributes, guys, you can have more than one measure at one time. Like now you have order quantity total value. You can even use open quantity total value. Multiple things can be managed, and this has been done before. So that you guys have to explore it, how you guys have to manage. And that is it. So this is all about the UI chart. Now, do you think our job is done? No, our job is not yet done. Why it is not done? Because there is something called as presentation variant. There is something called as presentation variant that you have to use. So guys, why presentation variant is important? If you create a chart, it will just create a control, but the way it should be presented in your UI, the way it should be presented, I mean, look here. This is my default chart and these are my visual filters. But guys, tomorrow once I start with visual filters or visual charts, whatever you say, I will not be able to differentiate between this and this. Okay, I'm repeating, I will not be able to differentiate between this and this because the logic is exactly the same. Why this part of code, why this part of code should be aligned in the default and why that should be aligned here? Each and everything we have to take care by giving some properties. Okay, so each and everything plays a very important role, guys. Presentation variant helps you to align your charts in the way you want. Like sales organization should be my default. This should be the one, it should be populated in the center. This should be the one that should be here. Okay, so all these things are taken care by the presentation variant. So we will be using a presentation variant now. @UI dot presentation variant. This is my presentation variant, and here I'll be building the code. It's very simple, guys. We don't have to worry much. We have to just give the qualifier and the visualization with its type. So I'll give a qualifier here. Qualifier here, I'll give a different name. Why I'm giving a different name, I'll explain you. This is my default. No, this is just a qualifier name, guys. You can give any name of your choice. You can give even your name here. That doesn't matter. Why I'm creating a new qualifier, I'll explain you. Then in the second thing, we will have visualizations. So in the visualization, we will give the type of chart. So type I'll give as chart because it is my chart. So type, it is not a line item, neither it is a data point because it is not an overview page. So type as chart. This, okay, and then the qualifier. So I'm going to call my qualifier. So this would be my chart default, the one which I've exactly used. If you change anything here, you have to change below highly case sensitive. I've told each and everything whatever is required. This default, see guys, whenever you create a new presentation variant, at that point you have to call your qualifier, which is part of your UI chart, and you need to create a new qualifier here because this would be configured in my Fiori application at one place. Okay, now this qualifier, there is some configuration that I have to do. There is some configuration that I have to do. Without that, it won't be coming as per the expectation. So this qualifier I'll be giving, this qualifier default I'll be giving in my manifest file. I'll explain you in some time so that I would get the exact output. Okay, now we are only using one chart, so you might be little relaxed. One chart, let's do it. But tomorrow, the moment we create more charts with 100% same code, you might have a question how the system will analyze, how this Eclipse tool or how the system will analyze which chart should be default, which chart should be visual filter, which should be aligned first, second, third. Each and everything we have to take care of that. Okay, So with the help of presentation variant, we create the direction of this chart. Like this is my default, and here I would have visual filters one after the other. Okay, so that plays a very important role. Now, one thing, like I have told you here, I'm missing one thing. I need the total, but I will not create this purposely so that you should understand the difference. I have saved this code. This is inactive. Let me activate it first. Okay, guys, it's activated. I'm 100% sure. I'll refresh my application and output is not going to come. That is for sure. Let me see if not output, if something else is coming a little. Let's experiment that. Secondly, guys, don't worry on the don't worry on the performance point of view, because like I've already told you, these apps will be deployed in SAP Fiori Launchpad, and the performance would be quite faster than this. Okay. Okay, we are exactly in the same position. There is no change even after writing the code. Then what we should do to have something? What we should do to have something? As of now, even I will not add the default aggregation for my order quantity total value. Without that also we will get a bad output. Don't worry. So this is, I'll go to my Web IDE. This is the project. This is my annotation file. So here I have my manifest.json file. I'll go here. And anywhere between these 6-7 properties, you can add the qualifier and give the name of your qualifier. That is what? That is this default. I want this chart in my middle, so this qualifier I'm going to use, because this qualifier is helping to give the reference to my presentation layer. Yes, this chart is created, so this is the presentation variant for this. Okay, this chart is created, this is the presentation variant. So this is consumed here and it is doing its own job. We have created a new qualifier here to tell the system, yes, this is what I want as my default chart. So I'll go here, I'll go back to my Web IDE and I'll give the name here. I'll save my manifest.json file. I'll take 5 minutes and I'll explain you what manifest.json file does all about. Okay. So we will again go back here. Let's refresh empty cache and hard reload. Let's refresh and let's see how it goes. Okay guys, now you can see your chart is available with all these features and functionalities, but I know this chart is not at all satisfactory. It is giving you the data in this which is of no use. All these things are coming into picture, but you can see we need only the sales organization and we need the total of this. So one line can change your look and feel completely. That is your summation of your order quantity total value with context to your, one second, default aggregation for sum. So this piece of line will exactly change the representation. I am purposely writing it now so that you should understand the difference, that this chart, whatever it is coming, it is of no use to us. Okay, activated. Like I'm getting, so I'm not a fool that every time I will go to the record. Here I don't have any comparative analytics, nothing. I'm getting all the fields which are coming into picture, nothing. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This chart is purely a bullshit. Just we are getting this as a, what do you say, order quantity total value we are getting it, but it is of no use. So now let me again refresh this application and show it to you. Okay, let's see how it goes. Now whatever we are getting is properly a chart. This is what a chart exactly looks like. Like if I put a cursor on this, it is AA01 and order quantity total value is this. This is my AA02 and order quantity total value is this. And this is my AA03. So we have total 3 unique sales organizations and the summation of this. Okay. So this is what exactly it tells us. This is this much, this is this much, and this is this much. Okay. Now you guys would ask me why default chart. We can change the chart at runtime. While if you look here, yes, you can see. First of all, you can maximize your chart. This is how it looks like. This is 600 million. These all are millions. Okay. So this is how AA01, AA02, AA03. This is the sales organization description that I've told you. Okay. And here you can see this. I forgot this name. What do we call? We can see this total quantity value. We call this with some name. Okay. I forgot. I'll tell you what exactly we say this. And this is what you can change the type of chart at runtime. If you want this as pie, select as pie and wait. See AA01, AA02, AA03. If you want to change the type of chart at anything, line chart, you can change as line chart as well. AA01, AA02, AA03. Yes, legends. Whoever has given an answer, thank you, that's correct. Legends is the correct name. I forgot, that was my bad, sorry. And then you can also make it as your bar chart. This is your bar AA01, AA02, AA03 with complete representation. And then we will come back to the column chart. We can then even minimize it. And these are all the features. Moreover, adding to this, there are a couple of other features. What are those features? Like this, in this you can see chart and table view. Chart and table view. If you want only chart, you can see like this. If you want only table, you can see like this. If you want both, you can see like this. So many features and functionalities are given. Okay guys, so it's so beneficial and it's so beautiful. Moreover, these charts are responsive in all the devices, like I've told you. So tuck, 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 something like this. Okay, so guys, this is how it looks and this is how beautiful it is. Okay, now before that, let me append few things in a document. After that I'll tell you what we have to do. In case of default chart, let me tell you some bifurcations. Chart type can be changed at runtime. First benefit is this. Chart type, chart type, yes, chart type can be changed at runtime. We can only have one chart at one time. Second thing, these are some features and functionalities. The qualifier should be part of your manifest.json file. Okay, in case of default chart type can be changed at runtime, we can only have one chart at one time. The qualifier should be part of your manifest.json file, that the one which we have given. Okay, there are a couple of other features, like you can one second, you can maximize and demaximize your chart. You can even maximize your chart. You can even maximize your chart and display in a pop-up at runtime. All these features and functionalities are given by this ALP, and you can understand how beautiful it is and how important it is. Okay, so these things play a very important role, guys. Now coming to manifest.json. So guys, manifest.json, people who might have who have knowledge on custom UI, they already know. So guys, manifest.json is basically a child of your component.js. When we started our career, we didn't have anything called as manifest.json. Only we used to have component.js. But SAP decided to separate the layer of JSON code and JS code. Okay, that is first thing. So so JSON, that is manifest.json, is basically a child of your component.js. Number one, manifest.json keeps all the configuration settings, like what should be your gateway service, what is the version of your UI5 app, if you are using any CSS file, yes or no, and what all other things, what all libraries we have used. Okay, so each and everything is part of your manifest.json. So manifest.json, I'll want to give some knowledge on this as well. Manifest.json is a child of component.js file. Guys, these all things are not required, but for your knowledge, I have to say, manifest.json is a child of your component.js file. Manifest.json holds all the configuration settings of your application, like your version, library, services, and many things. Okay, so all these things would be part of your manifest.json. So this is it. This is also good. It has many features, but for knowledge point of view and how much it is required, this is sufficient. Okay, please still do not start your work. I haven't told anyone to do it. Now, this is first requirement that exactly you have to do what I have did, plus I'm writing 4 to 5 questions and I want you guys to answer me on that. Okay. Not today, I want you guys to do sufficient R&D and come back to me by tomorrow. Activity which you have to do now is, last 5 to 10 minutes we will have debate for this, don't worry. Activities to be done now. The first thing is, create the same default chart the way we created. First thing is this. Second is, We will discuss from the code point of view. Can we have, can we have more than one dimension in our dimension attributes? Guys, do not post the answers on chat, neither on WhatsApp group. Complete silence. Let everyone struggle and everyone research. Can we have more than one dimension in our dimension attributes? Can we have more than one measure in our measure attributes? Yeah, this is really great, yeah. What does role means? What does, sorry, my bad. What does this role means in dimension and measure attributes? What does role means in dimension attributes and measure attributes? This is the next question. After that, the next thing is, if we remove role from both the attributes, can we get the expected output? This is the next question. Last, one of the most important question, which is basically a challenge for me, not from the code point of view, which is from the application and end user point of view, not from the code. Listen to me very, very carefully. Now, this is my table, but just keeping it as some aggregation, I'm getting this vertical lines which I don't want. So basically the table that I'm getting below, I don't want the summation, but I want summation to be performed there. So order quantity total value will be here. It would be part of my line item, and it would be part of our chart. But I don't want summation in table, but I want summation in chart. This is what I want you to identify. Answer would be very simple, guys, but question is tricky. For order quantity total value, I don't want, okay, we want that property in both the controls table and chart. For table, we don't want summation, but for chart, we want summation for expected output. How to handle that? This is the last question, that's it. So guys, the activities that I have told you, this is the activities you have to do as of now. Everyone start practicing this. Make sure you get the expected output. First of all, I'll tell you a journey that you have to follow as of now. First of all, I'll keep the screen open. Easily write one line of code on your screen. Control space, take the suggestions, understand and deep whatever is required. And here you have order quantity total value with summation. Once you're done with this, then in the manifest.json you need to add the qualifier. This qualifier, because this is representing here, this is the new qualifier name which helps to differentiate. Yes, this is my default chart. This name doesn't matter. Anything you can give your name here, you can give your name, doesn't matter. Fine. So guys, complete this code, do the configuration, see this much of output, and then do the R&D. Always do the R&D once you have one successful thing running in, then you do the R&D. Okay guys, 15 to 20 minutes to everyone. Start this, in last 5 minutes we will have the debate. I know each and every answer you cannot get it done today. Maybe you can get back to me tomorrow and you can discuss in the WhatsApp group. Okay guys, we will have doubts discussion for this, no worries. But first 15 minutes practice this and get the output. Start your work now. Hello guys, very few people, one or two have done. So one thing I just want to add here is this last question plays a very important role. Huh? This is very important because if I use sum here in my table, my responsiveness is getting disturbed. I will show you now. So first of all, work on the last question and then others. Okay. You see here I make it responsive. If in my responsive I have to scroll here and there, it means my responsive is not correct. Make sure this last question is answered first, then others. By question it might be complex, but solution is very easy. Yeah, anyone has anyone wants to say the answer for the last question? What is their answer for that? You guys can answer yourself.
Yeah, Ved, I think we can just make a small change in manifest.json. I think where the table type, if you can mention it as responsive table, I think that will be that will take care of it.
Your good name is Balu, right?
Yeah.
So Balu, one thing, the answer to this last question, you are saying to make the table type as responsive in manifest, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere here only, correct? Did
yeah,
you?
So,
yeah. Sorry to interrupt. One question here. Did you experiment this, or you are just assuming this?
I think I already experimented it. So I think I just pinged it in the chat. I think if you make it from table type to responsive, I think that should give you the solution.
So answer to this is, if I make the table type as responsive, then my what do you say? These vertical lines, nothing will come. It will work like an M table, correct?
Yes, I think most likely yes.
Okay. This is whatever you are saying. This is correct, and this is one solution. If you are able to experiment this, adding to this will not even show me the summation for this table, right? It will show the summation as well.
No, at the table level, I don't think it will show the summation, but you can see the summation on the chart level.
Summation at the chart level, anyways, it has to show. Otherwise, the chart is of no use, right? That's what I discussed. Summation, anyways, we need here. So that is, anyways, important. One more thing. So what you're trying to say is basically, if we make the table type as responsive, we will not get this vertical line. It will be responsive, plus it will not show me the summation also, right? Summation.
Yes. Yeah, I just did that. So it is not showing me any summation, and also I don't see those vertical lines and things like that. But I can see the chart at the sum, which is got summed up.
So you have shared the screenshot in your mobile response, correct? Or it is
mobile response? Let me change it in the inspect, and let me take the screenshot of it, and I will give it to you.
One more thing, what you guys can do is, I don't want to answer, but anyways, what you can do is, one more order quantity total value you can create with, oh sorry, what happened? This is added, fine. So one more thing what you can do is, one more order quantity total value you can create. You can have this, but it will not have the line item, it will have some. So this order quantity will be repeated 2 times, okay? One for the line item and one for the chart. And at one place for the line item, it will be only order quantity total value, and for the chart, it will be aliased as this. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Guys, did you understand what I'm trying to say?
Can you come again, Wade? What did you just say?
I'll see. Now this is for my table. For table, we will have line item, we have end user text, and we will not have this sum, and we will not have this. We will create one more aggregation. We will create one more in which we will have the sum, and we will rename it as this. One second, let me do it. This is the one. Now we will have one more. One second. This is my order quantity total value. I'll remove this. Fine. So this would be for my table. And in table, I don't need the sum. So what we would do is, @end user text dot label order quantity total value, and then we will have the summation here. Now just tell me, this is for table and this below is for chart. Will it work or it will not work? I just need the answer. Will this solution work or not?
It will work. So you will have the summation at the chart level, but no summation at the table level.
Exactly, and I don't have the line item here, as simple as that.
Yeah. So you can just see it. I just shared the screenshot. The table becomes responsive.
Yes. See, in this chat I will not share, you will post it on the WhatsApp group and I'll take it from Shekhar, that's fine. Here it is not that easy to check it. So basically this is one solution and the other solution what you suggested, correct? Yeah. Anything is fine. See, manifest and all you can definitely do. I believe you might have some prior knowledge on UI5, but people who do not have knowledge on UI5, they can try for this.
Yeah, definitely. There is no right or wrong in solutions. So it's people's
yes. One thing, see, no solution is right or wrong. It depends what prior experience you have and how you manage your show. That's it. And anyways, the logic and your development architecture is nowhere linked with end user business. It is only within your team. That's totally fine. Fine guys, last 5 minutes, please complete your work, and others, I need answer on all these questions. Please come back to me. But tomorrow you can let me know. I need answer. Last is anyways answered. I need answer for remaining these 4 questions. Sorry. And if you're saying more than one dimension, try to add one more dimension. If you're saying one more measure, see guys, answer, I don't need an yes and no, I need answer with the logic, with working output. Each and everything is required, right? Yes and no will not help anyone. Answer with working code and the expected code. Okay, 1 second. Guys, I have already shared this code in the manifest settings, you can add it. Okay? So this is the qualifier.
So what is that axis 1 and axis 2 and 3? Like,
Boss, that is the question, yaar. How can I tell you the answer? I told you what all things axis 1, 2 and series and category, what does it mean? First of all, if you are getting a requirement, one suggestion I'll tell you, that is my way of working. First of all, I'll mute everyone. I'm getting some disturbance. Okay. Okay guys, though it is working day, but this is a small assignment that I want you guys to do it and prepare a document with answer yes and no, then proposed code and expected output. This is what I want you guys to come back to me tomorrow with a solution. First thing, now how you want to submit this, I'll tell you. First of all, this is my question. Can we have more than one dimension in the dimension attribute? So try adding one more dimension. Now we have a sales organization. So try adding division, plant, or any other thing, or distribution channel. Try to have it. Try to add one more dimension with same measure, that is order quantity total value, and then see the comparison. Okay. This is one thing I want to tell you. And other, I have clearly mentioned the question. What does role means in dimension and measure attribute? So role in dimension has series and category, and role in measure has axis 1 to 3. So what does it mean? If I change from axis 1 to axis 2, what is the change in output? Each and everything you inspect it and you come back to me with a solution. If I change this, this is the representation. Guys, this framework of Fiori elements is restricted and limited. It is not an open source technology like Angular where you have thousands of things to learn and understand. It is a framework, and framework is something that we can understand and learn very faster because we are restricted in one single playground. Okay. So these 4 questions you have to come back prepare a Word document. First is answer yes and no. No, the reason. If yes, then the code what you have written, code, and the expected output screenshot. This document will help you and help everyone. And tomorrow, before I start, we will have a debate and discussion on this. And I have observed with my previous experience what all things I have given you to R&DA and what all things to practice, you have came with much more knowledge and much more contribution. The same experience we had with the weekend activity. There are few people in this batch who are personally linked with me, who know me from long time. So they have shared in the group and they have shared me also personally, and they are very satisfied with the way it is working. So let's do it. This is already answered out of 6. This is not a question, this is just an answer. We just have 4 questions. So these 4 questions at least I can expect, right, before the next session. So one document, 4 question answers, yes, code, screenshot, no, then that's it, no, and then the reason why it is not possible. But you guys can discuss with each other, but do not share the solution document. We will discuss it tomorrow, I will discuss it, we will review it, and then tomorrow you can share it on the group. Fine? Guys, I really don't understand. Just now I have told you let's not discuss it's possible or not. Still everyone is then what is the reason of having it competitive? Let others also, let everyone struggle, right? anyways, guys, last few minutes, please complete it and come back to One more thing, Balu, not pointing to you, but just a common statement. Guys, this default chart, this takes a wider space. 1 second, few best practices that I personally feel. Let me make a note. Yeah. Try to use charts like bar, line and column in case of default chart. This is one of the best practice what I personally feel, and there is a reason for that. What is the reason, guys? Fine. Just give me a second. Guys, sorry for that. Yeah. So basically, why not to use pie chart here? I'll tell you the reason. Pie chart is basically, if you can see the width of a default chart, you can only accommodate one at one time. And pie chart is something that doesn't suits here, right? From a showstopper point of view, if I just change the chart type to pie here, just a second. Let me change. So guys, you can see from the look and feel point of view, it is not looking attractive. On the left hand side and the right hand side, spaces are wasting a lot. So this user emotions you have to take care, guys. Nobody else is going to take care. Now you see, this is properly utilizing your space. This is responsive, even that is responsive. We know that. But do not use pie chart as a default because it doesn't suit. In case of visual filters, yes, we can do it, but not in case of this. Okay, so either use these kind of charts. So I have maintained here, try to use charts like bar, column and line in case of your default chart. In case of visual, you can use pie also, and I'll create that and I'll show you tomorrow. Let's go in a flow, do not rush things. Let me explain each and everything and then you practice it. Tomorrow, I want you guys to come back to me with this, with these 4 questions. Maximum, it should not take maximum an hour or 2 hours should be fine. You can easily work on this and come back to me, and let's see how it goes. Okay guys, so we will be concluding for today. Before that, let me know if anyone has any questions apart from these. Anyone has any questions or confusions, anything? You guys can unmute yourself now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, wait, if you have multiple charts other than the default, so how do we switch? Is there a way that we switch? Or are you going to cover it?
No,
or is it like
no. See, multiple charts we will only have in case of visual filters, not in case of default. Here we would have one visual filter, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that we will anyways learn tomorrow. The next 2 days I have dedicated totally for visual filters so that you understand it completely in detail. So visual filters we will discuss tomorrow. Default is 1 and it is always filter. Simple rule. One more thing, guys. You understood right what I have told. We should not use pie chart here, right? So Balu, I think you have used some pie chart here. So change it to that, okay?
No, I use pie chart because in one of the requirement the user wants pie chart. So I just was
No.
exploring it.
Yeah. See. Listen. I have something to say here. Users, see, they don't know. See, one thing. Fiori elements comes with UI, UX both. User experience is something that we as a Fiori consultant have tried that. So you see, we have to do a job of consulting as well. If you remember, I have told you our job is consulting as well. It is not just building a piece of code. So you have to tell them what's the spaces on the left and right. What do you think? I is recommended or not? What is your answer on that? Leave user.
See what you make say, what you say, it makes sense. Definitely, I'm not denying that. I mean, we're still in the very early stage of the project, so we're not even into first level of design discussion. So they just send me a prototype of what they expect in the app. So maybe when we get into the more detailed discussion, I'll whatever the best practices that you have mentioned, I'll definitely take it to the users.
Yes, it definitely. That definitely. Why I'm saying that is because you can, because we have reason to explain that. Okay. In case of visual, you can use pie or whatever you want because there is a restricted space given to it, and that is managed automatically by this tool. We do not have to keep separate efforts for that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Tomorrow I need answer of these 4 questions. Documents and recordings will be shared to you by. Documents you will get it ASAP. Recordings, let's see how soon you can get it. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Thanks all.